As we're 11 days closer to the fight between David Haye and Derek Chisora, I'd just like to say one thing: that boxing has always been a controversial sport, in and outside the ring. We all know this. There's always going to be controversy, whether it be David Haye versus Derek Chisora, whether it be, Manny Pacquiao versus Timothy Bradley in a fight which I thought Bradley won, by the way, or many fights in the past, Mayweather sucker punching Victor Ortiz, and the list goes on. But I would like to say, most importantly, that this fight is a very significant part of boxing. It's probably a pivotal part of boxing. Having another sanctioning body, not sanctioning body, sorry, having another country sanction a fight, being the Luxembourg Boxing Authority. Now, that being said, I like to just get into the fight itself. I think it's a very competitive fight. I'm not sure if the consensus agrees, because the odds seem to be slightly against Derek Chisora, however. But I believe that Chisora has a very good chance in dismantling David Haye. In fact, I believe he probably has more of an advantage, having fought his whole career in the heavyweight division, as opposed to David Haye, who has, well, fought majority of his career at cruiserweight. And I'm not in no way discrediting what David Haye has accomplished at heavyweight and at cruiserweight, but I think the path he took at heavyweight was somewhat easy, or lenient, should I say. That being said, I think David Haye is a very talented fighter. He's very athletic. He keeps himself in shape, as you see, 365, 7 days a week, non-stop. But I think fighting Monty Barrett and then being eligible for a heavyweight title shot is probably the easiest route anyone could take. Whereas Derek Chisora, on the other hand, has fought numerous times at heavyweight at the very least. Maybe not a lot of fights, but he's fought, like I mentioned, numerous times, and he took the hard way. I would say he's fought at European level, competed there, and he's competed at British heavyweight level and won titles there as well. And on top of that, he has fought one of the Klitschko's in his last fight. In fact, Vitaly Klitschko that was, and he put on a good, valiant effort, in my opinion. He didn't freeze under pressure. People thought he would get knocked out. He didn't, and I like Derek Chisora's chances against David Haye. I think he's got very nice style. He has like a Joe Frazier type of style. I'm not saying he is exactly like Joe Frazier, because no one matches him, but he has some similarities in terms of his bopping and weaving. I'll say his punches or his work rate is not that high, and I think he's got really good stamina too. And even when he's out of shape, he has shown that he is competitive as well. You know, so I just like to say that this is a brilliant fight. You have the boxer versus the brawler here. Um, all that being said, I think that people need to pay attention more to how Derek Chisora has performed in his fights as opposed to his losses. I don't think the losses reflects the true nature of a boxer that he is. He is, like I mentioned, very resilient, and he fights at a very high intensity. And even his trainer's in shape, by the way. But yeah, he's a good boxer. He's talented. Outside the ring, his misdemeanors, we all know about Derek Chisora outside the ring. I'm not going to divulge too much into that. But that being said, he has put he has made people think about him in a different light in boxing. I mean, there is a divide in terms of what people think of him as a man, but as a boxer, he's good. I mean, I think he's really good. Um, I do believe the odds are stacked against David Haye, quite frankly. Um, Honestly, I think David Haye, as much as I've said that he's a good boxer in the past, and he's very athletic, I think he has a very low work rate, and I've noticed this in his fight against Nikolai Valuev, the Giant, where he wasn't able to throw as much punches that I think he would. He spent most of the time glaring at Nikolai Valuev as opposed to letting his hands go, which I thought was bizarre, going to someone's territory and doing that. Um, I think he needs to really work on his activity. His work rate needs to be a lot higher than it is in order to be, successful at this level. And that has carried on. His work rate has carried on to the Klitschko fight where he barely threw any punches, and I saw this happen. I saw this coming in his career. It seems like every punch he wants to throw should be a bomb. I barely see him throwing a jab and then setting it up with a straight right, etc. Or using his fundamentals. Um, he uses a lot of movement, as you can see, but unfortunately, for him, at the very least, the ring is going to be very small. So his movement is going to be somewhat limited. So he's going to actually have to fight at close quarters a lot of the times in this fight, as opposed to boxing and moving like he usually does. So honestly speaking, I think Derek Chisora wins this fight. I think he walks David Haye down. I think David Haye throws everything he can at this guy, but Chisora is not discouraged. He keeps on coming forward. And we know about David Haye's chin. He has been dropped in the past. He's not someone that can't be dropped at all. And all due respect to David Haye, I think he loses this fight. Honestly, I think Chisora is going to actually make him fight for 12 rounds. And I do have questions with his stamina. In fact, in his first loss, I think that was in his, I believe, 10th or 11th professional fight against Carl Carl Thompson, who happened to be a window cleaner. um, he was actually dominating that fight, but Carl Thompson was still there. Carl Thompson was still there, and eventually David Haye ran out of stamina, and we all know what happened after that. So yeah, he took an L, he took a loss. So like I said, I think Derek Chisora, has probably established himself a little bit more than David Haye at this weight class, in my opinion. And he's fought at European level before he went to challenge for a heavyweight title, whereas David Haye just walked to the heavyweight title division. Sorry, just walked his way to a heavyweight title shot through his mouth because he's a salesman, just like his trainer, just like Derek Chisora's trainer said that he's a salesman, and that's what he's good at, selling and selling the fight with his mouth. So all due respect to Haye, I think he's a talented fighter, but how far is his mouth gonna get him? Um, I think that David Haye needs to really assess how far he can go in his career now. If he fights Derek Chisora, where is he gonna go now? Is he gonna fight Povetkin maybe? Because the fight with Hasim Rahman and Povetkin has been called off. So would a fight be with Povetkin convince him to stay in boxing longer? I don't know. I think David Haye just made a lot of his name in the cruiserweight division, which enabled him to get to the heavyweight division and be where he was at and win that world title. Now that he doesn't have a world title, the question mark still remains: would he still get a fight with the winner of? Sorry, would he still get a fight with Vitaly Klitschko? Anyway, hope you enjoyed the video. Please visit my website blocksimblog.webnode.com and subscribe if you want to subscribe. That's entirely up to you, but please do. Anyway, this is Quab20 signing out. Peace.